All right, CMA Nation, let's keep it rolling with our two-day look at MLB win totals. Today, we'll be talking about the San Diego Padres and the Seattle Mariners. We'll start with the Padres, who won 93 games last season, came in second place in the NL West. The experts predict a little bit of a step backward this season as their over-under set at 85.5. Let's take a look and see what we think. They had a subpar offseason, which I don't like at all. They lost more than they gained. And in fact, one of the biggest losses was left-handed pitcher Tanner Scott, one of the league's better closers, is now with the Dodgers, and that is going to hurt. Their bullpen has some serious concerns. Robert Suarez steps in as the closer. Now, he's decent, but certainly not an elite option. I do really like Jason Adam as a setup guy. He's one of the few bright spots, and I think he'll continue to improve further. But beyond those two, the bullpen is vastly mediocre, making late game situations fairly worrisome. Their starting rotation, I really like their top two, Dylan Cease and Michael King, but I am worried about the drop-off after that. Yu Darvish, he's getting older. His performance is declining. Don't like to see that. Nick Pivetta, they brought him in. He's fine as a number 4 starter, but nothing too exciting. Overall rotation, they have a couple quality arms, but beyond Cease and King, there just isn't much here to get excited about. Now, their offense continues to be the strength of this club. They did lose Jerks and Profar to the Braves, which could make an impact, but they do still have their 3 big stars in Fernando Tatis, Xander Bogaerts, and Manny Machado. But beyond them, it does get a little murky, and there's some key question marks. Can Jason Hayward bring any power at the bottom of that lineup? And can Jake Cronenworth provide consistency in that number 5 spot? Lack of speed also concerns me. With their high batting average, you'd hope for more steals, but they were middle of the pack last year, and I don't think that's going to improve much this season either. Verdict is this for this team. Every part of this team has some bright spots, but every part also has glaring weaknesses. They play in a very tough division, and I am projecting the Dodgers and Diamondbacks to take big steps upward. I see this team realistically could drop to the high 70s in their wins. I just am not very optimistic here. So we're going to go with the under 85.5 wins, and we're going to give it 3 baseballs on the confidence meter. Let's now shift gears to the American League, talk about the Seattle Mariners, who won 85 games last season. Their over-under is set very near that at 85.5. Let's see what we think about this squad. They offseason made virtually no major improvements, which I don't like to see. They re-signed Jorge Polanco, which is one of their biggest moves, and that's a concern when that's one of your biggest moves. They brought in a couple guys, Miles Mastroboni and Donovan Solano, but just not exactly what I would call game changers. No major power additions, and I don't like to see that. Offensively, this team really struggled last season. In 2024, they were second worst batting average in MLB. They were bottom 8 in RBI, bottom 10 in runs scored, and they had the most strikeouts of any club. Don't love to see that. Cal Raleigh is a good power bat, but he needs to improve his contact hitting. Julio Rodriguez is an exciting young talent, but he took a small step back last year. Hopefully he can bring it up a notch or two this season. One strength they do have is their speed. They finished 9th in steals last season, and they will need it this year to create runs. Overall, the offense just looks weak to me, and without a major addition, it's hard to see significant improvement here. Now, bright spot, really big strength here is their starting rotation. Some believe this could be one of the best rotations in the American League. Starts with their ace, Logan Gilbert, very good. Number 1, Luis Castillo has great stuff, very solid performer in the number 2 spot. And then I love number 3, Bryce Miller. He had a 12-8 record, 2.95 ERA, 0.98 WHIP in 2024. And their number 4, Brian Wu, arguably was even better than Miller last season with a 9-3 record, 2.9 ERA, and a 0.9 WHIP. This rotation is so deep, so talented. The question is, how much run support will they get? Bullpen, I'm a little concerned of. They were 20th in bullpen ERA. They had almost as many blown saves as they did converted saves. The closer, Andre Munoz, he's above average, but not dominant. I do like Colin Snyder in the setup role. Rest of the bullpen, though, is average at best, and some of their arms there are just plain awful. The verdict is this. They won't... They're not going to improve. They're not going to be better than they were last year with the 85 wins. If everything clicks, of course, if the rotation dominates, bullpen overperforms, and their offense takes a giant leap forward, of course they could get above that number. I don't see it happening. I think 85.5 is too high, and they're going to take a dip down. So we are going with the under 85.5 for the Mariners, and we are very confident in this. We're giving it 5 baseballs on the confidence meter. That's all I got today. CMA Nation will be back tomorrow with 2 more.